And that's Christian. Enough said.
There he is also in Cabo, surfing, trying to do a cheater 5.
It was so fun to take them that, like somebody said, well, how did your kids surf? I said, they did it just like they walked. You just take them, and what boy doesn't want to go outside and have fun? So it was so easy for them to just roll into this stuff. It was just like walking. This is an Annie Leibovitz photo that she did with Malcolm McLaren, who started the Sex Pistols, and Christian. It's become one of the 100 most important photos of the 20th century, and it's called Blue Boy. I think that was the end of him. I think having the pink hair and the blue, I think he kind of, after that.
Purple
See?
was his favorite.
I mean, there you go.
This is logo, yeah. Then he started all this stuff, flying in the air and landing. Look, he crossed out his face.
Christian was the first person to really do aerials like in surf contests, and at that time it was considered not surfing. So isn't that interesting? 30 years later, unless you have a huge repertoire of aerials, you're not going to move anywhere, right? And you go, it's very interesting when you bring something new. People don't like change. They like things that makes them feel comfortable, and so they're very afraid of change. And so they wanted to get rid of surfing, get rid of Christian. And he was helpful because he couldn't keep his mouth shut, I have to say, right? He could have done a better job. But it's very interesting to see how surfing has changed in the last 25, 30 years.
That was the first sailfish. Everybody at the magazine thought it was a sailfish.
Well, he took the moves from skateboarding, and that's where this kind of marriage and skateboarding comes along. He took the moves from skateboarding and took them into the ocean.
With this purple wetsuit.
And so, because he and Nathan always skated, that you can go out and practice something in a wave where it changes all the time. It's more difficult, but if you have that stable center that you can practice this stuff, you can get really good. And so he did that, but it wasn't considered surfing at the time.
Nathan's playing the guitar in the background.
Oh, Christian had this mohawk, and he'd tell Nathan, you got to help me. You got to pull my hair up with this. With a vacuum. And Nathan would look at me, long-suffering Nathan would just go, oh my God, could you do his hair?
That's Christian and Christian.
Christian Hosoi and Christian Fletcher.
Beautiful style, huh? Skateboarding. Up in the wires. But Christian took it to the water.
This is a Bruce Weber photograph. Christian also kind of transcended surfing and got into kind of this whole pop culture. Because all the magazines wanted to come and photograph him, all the famous photographers from Annie Leibovitz to Bruce Weber, and so it took it out to Interview magazine and Details magazine and all these other things. So he kind of went out from surfing into a broader market. This is a Versace shoot. Bruce Weber used to love to get me to get these guys on, get them to all these different shoots, right? That's Christian with his son Grayson.
And Eddie Radke had to share the cover with Christian. Christian's surfing, doing an aerial. That's Eddie Radke skating a pipe. There's Christian in France with that little board, grabbing the nose. I still don't see people do that today. Nathan's always been a big wave charger. And there he is. He got a brand new Jerry Lopez gun, 8-foot gun when he was 10 years old.
Nathan was a snowboarder. He was a motocross racer. For a long time, he didn't surf. He found it very difficult being Christian's brother. And so he put on a helmet so he could go out motocross racing because he said there was an anonymity in it. There was a finish line. It didn't matter that he was Christian's brother, and I think he really needed to go do that to find out who he was himself. And he did it for a few years, right? And then he came back and said, you know, I am a surfer. It doesn't matter who Christian is, it matters who I am. And I thought that that was kind of an interesting way for a young man to find himself.
That's surfing.
That's surfing. That's surfing.
Chiopu.
That's a Brian Bielman photo. So with Rizzoli, when I was working with them, they said, well, we don't want to put this book in this photo in the book because it's kind of got haze. I said, when the surf is 35 foot, there's atmosphere. There's atmosphere.
And it was raining in the background,
and
right?
So you go, print the photo.
Yeah, he's still alive.
And he's still alive.
And there's a new one coming.
And the beat goes on. So Nathan's just, he's in a new documentary right now called Heavy Water. And it's going to play in December in LA, and it's going to play for 10 days, so it can be put into the Academy Awards for Best Documentary. And it's really a story. It's not so much, yes, it's a story about surfing, and it's about him jumping out of a helicopter into a wave. But it's also a story, a couple of his friends have passed away, right? And as he has these young kids, it's him kind of coming to grips with, do I still need to do this? Is this what's best for me, what's best for my family? And so it's kind of coming into his own manhood. It's an interesting story. The visuals are beautiful. It's giant, big wave riding. And so it will be playing in December in LA. This is Grayson.
So he didn't stand a chance.
You notice he has the wetsuit, the skateboard, right? He's ready for anything. This is him with John and Nathan and Ivan Florence and Ford Archibald. Nathan said that's what's wrong with him.
So we took him skating, take him to the beach surfing. Got his Vans on and his Vans logo, and then he started maturing.
This is him in Spain. And as a skateboarder, they really have the opportunity. Somebody said, well, did they just skate like domestically? Grayson's had the opportunity to travel the world because there's cement everywhere. And so he has gotten the opportunity. He's traveled the world a couple of times, and how nice for him as a young man to be able to do this.
Yeah, this is after we went to the Prado. That's a signature move right there.
Okay, he had this long beard, long hair. I hated that frickin' beard. You know, God, it was ugly. But not to let that stop me, so I hashtagged him the wizard. It stuck, right? I said, don't screw around with me, Grayson. When you do something I don't like, I'm just going to use it and I'm going to market it, and that's how it's going to go. And so anyway, so then he was stuck with this thing, and he just cut it off the other day. He cut off his beard, he cut off his hair, right? Because he says, it weighs 25 pounds when I go surfing. I was waiting, but I didn't say a word, and now he's all clean shaven.
And here he is skateboarding in sandals at a place on the North Shore of Velzeland called Sheepside. It was do-it-yourself. Everybody pitched in and made walls and ramps and
Yeah, but it's another
corners.
kind of thing how surfing and skating, they're not different. They're the same. Here we are, the happy little family. Kind of the Addams family of surf.
And these are more recent waveware shoots. And this is one of the latest pieces Herbie does, and it's called a rectangle.
All these boards were ridden by the greatest surfers and all broken at the pipeline. And I think that to end this, it's kind of what surf has become. It's kind of broken and it's fractured with all the companies and everything else. And some of that dream from my dad's generation has certainly been lost. Surfing as surfing will always be a lifestyle. Surfing as a sport has changed dramatically. And I think that it's part of the commentary about what our everyday life is like now. And so I think that this piece, he's done quite a few of these, and they've become a signature piece. Say a lot about the contemporary world of surf.
I guess that's it.